So folks, Backlash was last night and we had some major drama unfolding. We opened the show with an incredible fatal 4-way between Damian Priest, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre and US champion Jacob Fatu. In the words of Jim Ross, it was an absolute slobber knocker of a match. It was just incredible, so many great spots, and the entire crowd were on their feet for the duration of the 20-minute bout. Everyone involved got their time to shine, and rightfully so, because we had some amazing, and I mean amazing moments. There was just so much in this match to unpack, and for this to be the first match of the night, in my mind I was like, how can they make it better? How can the night go on and beat this fatal 4-way? Because this fatal 4-way was absolutely incredible. We had Drew McIntyre hit LA Knight with a Claymore because we thought that was the end. Literally, the ref counted 1, 2, just as he was about to hit the 3, as you can see in the image below, Damian Priest pulled the ref out and again screwed over Drew McIntyre. Throughout the entire match, we had the crowd screaming for Jacob Fatu, which was just absolutely amazing to see, and it goes to show that this guy is one of the most over stars with the entire crowd is just brilliant. After the moment below, Priest and McIntyre went into the crowd and they put each other through a couple of tables, which was another great spot. But obviously, Jacob Fatu, we ended with Solo Sikoa getting involved. But he wasn't the one who helped Jacob Fatu win. We had the huge debut of Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb has now aligned himself with Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, and again, Fatu got the 1-2-3 on Knight, and going forward, we're going to see one hell of a team up between Fatu and Cobb. I can see them dominating for a lot. Incredible opening match, and Backlash is off to a wild, and I mean a wild start. The women's IC title bout was up next, folks, and we had Becky Lynch taking on IC champion Lyra Valkyria. Again, I was absolutely blown away by this match. Straight off the bat, with 2 for 2 being amazing matches at Backlash. We did have Lynch taking control for the majority of the match, but we did get Lyra pulling off a couple of great spots, and her swinging submission, that needs to be made one of her finishes, because it just looks so good, and you can tell it's probably hurting on a few spots, mostly the joints, but this needs to be made into a move that she could put it onto someone and it could actually end the match. A bit like how, Bret Hart's got the sharpshooter, Ric Flair's got the figure 4, that sort of thing. But overall, it was a great match, and it was actually a change of pace from the absolutely bombastic fatal 4-way that we just witnessed. After all of this, it was a nice slow match between the two, but it told a story. It told a story that these two absolutely hate each other. And the way it's going at this moment in time, it's more like that Becky Lynch she's more of the way of that she's jealous of how Lyra Valkyria is getting over with the crowd, and Becky's like, no, this should be me. I should be in this spot. I should get the love. A bit like how Charlotte Flair is over on SmackDown. But overall though, Lyra actually got the win after countering Lynch. But Lynch stood up immediately, almost like, how the hell did you just beat me? And she beat the hell out of Lyra Valkyria. Then she got her into the disarmer, and you had everyone coming down. You had Adam Pearce, all the refs, all the backstage help. They were there trying to pull off Becky Lynch, but it didn't really succeed. But there was one thing with this at the end, when Lyra did get the pin, for about a minute before even the beatdown that Becky gave her, she was holding her nose. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see that she's got a broken nose or something along those lines tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. But overall, great match, great second match so far. Backlash is on a roll, and this thing as well, between these two, it's not over. Next up was the Intercontinental title match in the men's, and obviously Penta against IC champ Dominic Mysterio. Now, first of all, hands down, my favourite match of the entire evening. And this match as well, it just shows that Dominic Mysterio is going to be one of the greatest of all time. Hands down. This match solidified it, because this match, I would say, is Dominic Mysterio's best match he's ever had. It was incredible. And obviously, we have seen these two in a feud for what? 3 months, 4 months now, maybe even longer. We've seen them have a couple of matches. Obviously, their match at WrestleMania was the best over the entire weekend. But with this one, it was no different. It was such a great match. And to keep the streak going of just being able to one-up yourself each and every time you have a wrestling match, like I said, I seriously can consider Dominic Mysterio becoming one of the greatest ever. He was just so good. And this boy, he's not even in his prime yet. He's in his mid-20s. This guy, when he reaches his prime, he's going to be on like the Shawn Michaels, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio level. Hands down. Possibly even better than them. I know that's a big thing to say, because for me, Shawn Michaels is the greatest of all time. But Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, they're on the tier with Michaels, just below him. But this guy is going to go places. Obviously, the Judgment Day did get involved. They never actually came down the ramp with Dom at the start. They just appeared at the Titantron entrance. But they came down halfway. Carlito tried getting the ref distracted, and Finn and Donna, they did get a chair to try and take out Penta. But the ref saw him, and the ref sent all three of them back to the locker rooms. But of course, though, that was just another distraction for Grande Americano. He came on out, and he actually headbutted Penta, and Dom got the 1, 2, 3 with a frog splash. Now with this, obviously we're going to see Penta, possibly Rey Fenix, team up together, which I really need it to happen now. And we're going to see him take on Grande Americano, and more than likely another member of American Made. Sadly, our next match was Gunther taking on Pat McAfee, which we all knew this wasn't going to be a highlight of the night or anything, which sadly it was, and we know this. And one of the things that I always said, when you have someone who is not an actual wrestler, but who's more a commentator, backstage segments, and getting involved now and again, to take a stunner like McAfee did a couple of years ago, you really need to have some kind of stipulation to make the match even more intriguing and interesting. Basically, no DQ or even a street fight, something along those lines. But we need to remember that Pat McAfee is not a wrestler. He is a commentator and an ex-NFL player, or retired NFL player, and he was going up against one of the best to ever do it in Gunther. Obviously, we did get Michael Cole getting involved in a few spots trying to help McAfee out, but it didn't work. Gunther locked in the rear naked choke and a few other things, and he got the 1, 2, 3. At the end, though, we did see that Gunther, he did show a little bit of respect towards Pat McAfee by, bowing his head and tipping his hat to him, basically. But I really do hope that this is the end between these three, because out of every match we've had so far, it's been a phenomenal Backlash. This kind of match just kind of let it down in not a big way, but sadly, maybe this should have gone on first. Now it's the main event, folks. Randy Orton, John Cena. More than likely the last match, a singles match I should say, we will see between these two, unless the feud carries on. This, it seemed like it was a best of or a highlights match, because the way these two put the match on, it was like we've seen it all before. Sadly, we have. Like I said, it was the best of, and we had callbacks to a lot of good things that they'd done in the past. We even had a callback to the infamous tables match these two had years ago, where they both put each other through a table with their finishing move at the same time. We had that in this one. We had some fun spots. We had both men kicking out of multiple finishers on each other, obviously, because these two were the seasoned pros, the veterans. But we also got the ref being knocked out quite a few times as well, which I'd probably say that and the R-Truth segment part of it were the best parts of the match. Obviously, both refs got knocked out, but then you had Nick Aldis, you had Jamie Noble, you had the Hurricane, Shane Helms, all these people coming down, just trying to look on the referee because Cena hit the ref with the belt, and they were like, just send another ref out, get the countdown, because Orton had Cena down for what seemed like an eternity. Obviously, Orton got up, he was a little bit pissed. He's like, why'd you send another ref? Why are you all here? And he started RKOing literally everybody in the ring. And he was handing it out more times than anything we've ever seen before, especially in one match. But then, for me, like I said, I've been saying this over the past couple of weeks. We were going to see R-Truth get involved and help Cena win without R-Truth even realizing what he's done. And that is exactly what's happened. Orton in the corner, Cena in the other, on his hands and knees. Orton was ready to give the punt kick. R-Truth ran in his way and stopped him. So what did Orton do to him? He RKO'd him. Obviously, this took R-Truth out of the ring, but Cena gave Randy Orton the low blow. Then he hit him for the belt, and he got the 1, 2, 3. Now with this, obviously, like we've said, we have seen it over the last couple of weeks where R-Truth has been getting involved, with the signs, John Cena is amazing, and we've had Jimmy Uso being like, what you on about? Cena sucks, Cena's horrible, and he's like, nah, he's my childhood hero. Well, actually, at the end of the night, after the show had finished, John Cena was at the press conference, and R-Truth came on up, and he's like, I knew you could win. What did Cena do? He put R-Truth through the table, which gives me a little bit of an inkling of where they may be going. And to be honest with you, when I saw this happening, I was like, right, let's have a look online. And quite a few other people are like, you know what, it wouldn't surprise me if we see Cena against R-Truth. Now for that, we do know that John Cena is in fact at Saturday Night Main Event in 2 weeks' time. How funny would it be if R-Truth faces John Cena and R-Truth wins the belt? It's never going to happen, never ever, but if that did, that would be the biggest upset in all of wrestling history if R-Truth beats his childhood hero John Cena for the undisputed belt. Obviously, Cena would win it back then like a day or so later on Raw, but I think that would be absolutely hysterical, and I think that would be a miss if WWE didn't decide to do it. It would be great. But obviously with this, I really hope that Cena and Orton has not just ended now, because they've set it up for 2 weeks, 2 and a bit weeks, and that's literally it. This needs to go out a little bit longer, maybe up until the end of June when it's Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia, because over there you could finally have Orton, right, okay, he's lost again, and that's it. Moving on into SummerSlam in August, we could set up the Summer of Punk, which I think is how they're going. Wouldn't surprise me if we see someone like CM Punk, Roman Reigns, or hell, even Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, one of those four winning the belt at the very last moment. That's what's going to happen. But overall, folks, Backlash was a great show. Filled with absolute classic matches, well, the first 3 were, and then it just kind of dwindled down to the best of between Orton and Cena. And for me, great show, 8.5 out of 10. Obviously, my matches of the night, Fatal 4-Way for the US Championship and the Men's Intercontinental Championship. Those matches were just spectacular. Those two alone, if they were on Raw, those would get easy 9.5 out of 10, easy. The Women's Intercontinental match was really good as well. Like I said, it slowed down a little bit after the Fatal 4-Way, but they told the story and that feud is not over. But folks, I will be back here Tuesday with a Monday Night Raw review, so I'll see you then.